Team of Fluent Artists, we are live. We're going to get started at 8:30 sharp in about 1 minute. Come in, type your name, where you from in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And I got my comments over here to the side. And all right, type your name and where you from in the chat so I know that you can hear me. Well, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let me pull up one other thing. How y'all doing? Let me know where y'all from, man. I'm excited to share this information with you. We are live. It is 8:30. And we're going to get right into the masterclass. All right. I see artists are coming in. Type your name, where you from in the chat. All right. And let me share my screen right now. All right. We rocking and rolling now. California. What's up, Miss Nancy? Nancy from Cali. Where in Cali you from, Miss Nancy? Richmond. We got another California. Miss Booker. I hope that's correct. All right, y'all should see my screen. So while we waiting, artists are coming in. Listen, man, I know you are here because you want to sell art. All right. So you see that beautiful piece, Tierra sold for $2K, Galactic Jellies. There's Jasmine with some more prints. Man, Jasmine also made $15,800 in less than 20 days. Type yes in the chat if you like to make over 15K in 20 days. We're going to show you how. Here's another one where Jasmine set a goal to make $5,000 in a month. She did that in a week. All right. And as this video rolls, as we got artists coming in, man, artists are making sales again and again, online, offline, events, shows on the internet. And so we're going to really show you how to sell your art online in any economy. So I'm really excited to share this with you. It's my man Joe right here. He sold this piece for $2,000 right there, man. Joe is dope. All right. And so I got a quick pop quiz while artists are coming in. We about to get started. So just type true or false in the chat. If you think you need a lot of followers to sell art online, just put true or false in the chat. If you think you need a lot of followers, say she from the Mojave Desert. That's what's up. What's up, Jaqueen from Philly? All right. Type yes or no if you think you need a lot of followers to sell your art online. All right. And then another question, do you think you need a big body of work before you start selling art? Man, these artists are selling art. Miss Joy right there sold over $4,000. She got that cash. That's another $1,000 sale. All right. Here we go. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right. So we're here today, man. I'm going to show you how to sell art online, just like these other artists right here. Okay. And so if you're sick of being on that income roller coaster as an artist and you're ready to emerge as an affluent artist, just type yes in the chat for me. All right. Type yes in the chat for me. Because listen, artists, if you haven't succeeded or you're not making the sales that you want in the past, listen, it's not your fault. And I know firsthand, I'm an artist as well, right? And I know I went to school for art, and the art industry, they don't teach you how to sell your art on purpose because they want to control who makes it in the industry, okay? And so I already knew the art market only wanted the chosen few of us to get through because I had a personal difficult experience when I was trying to sell my art coming out of college and doing my first art events, all right? And so I realized that it's really us versus them. It's the affluent artists that keep most of their sales and build direct relationships with their collectors versus the art market that sometimes try to control access to the collectors, okay? And so I know it can be scary trying to figure this stuff out, man. You really want to use your God-given gifts to sell your art online. And so I'm here to offer support and just show you a new way to succeed and sell your art, all right? And so I want to share affluent artist Jasmine Tompkins' story because like many of you, before she became an affluent artist, look what she said. Let me put this in perspective for you guys. For years, I gave away my art for free. I joined Affluent Artist January last year. 1 year ago, I was still selling most of my original art for $200. And my biggest sale this time last year was $500 to a hospital. This month, if I make no more money for the next 10 days, I will have total to make $15,800 $800. I am floored. I never thought this was possible for me. All right. Type them yeses in the chat again if you want to make over 15K in a month. All right. I know that would really transform a lot of artists' life. And so we're going to show you a system of how you can do this. Okay. And so my goal is simple here. I want to help you become an affluent artist. And so this presentation is designed to help two types of artists. If you are an emerging artist, we're going to help you get more confidence to sell your art and raise your prices. If you are an established artist, I'm going to show you how to get more exposed to high income collectors globally. And for both groups, the goal is to help you accomplish your dreams, hit your sales goals, and become well known or famous in your industry so you can increase your status and finally leave your 9-to-5 to become a full-time affluent artist. All right, type yes in the chat if you want to be a full-time artist, okay? Just type yes in the chat. I see we got a lot of artists in, all right? And so the only way for you to make this transformation so you can consistently sell art online is by being an affluent artist. And the only way to being an affluent artist is with artwork. And so if I help you become an affluent artist so you can make more money selling art, will you promise to spend a little bit of that with me and my company in the future? I see the yeses coming through in the chat. All right, awesome. Nancy, Jaqueen, Ace Nelson, all right? And so my name is Sharess. And like many of you, I've been an artist my entire life, all right? So that's little Sharess up there in the top left. That's a picture that I drew of my son for his first birthday, a self-portrait of the both of us. And I'm also a hooper, man. I love playing basketball. I played Division I college basketball. But while I was in school, listen, I didn't have any collectors. I did not have sales skills. And then I had a big tragedy, man. The day after Christmas, my house burned down. I lost all of my art, and my family and I, we really lost everything. And man, I was just really devastated. And so I ended up dropping out in 2007. And as you can imagine, man, my confidence was low. It was hard to sell art, and it was very difficult to break into the art industry. And so I became obsessed with mastering business online. I was like, man, I'm not going out like this. I really want to figure out how to make my own money and get my own collectors. And so it was a journey though. So the first thing I knew was I needed a millionaire mentor. And so I ended up writing a letter to 19 millionaires, and I sent them a letter in the mail. And this gentleman right here, Mike Canings, was the first one that responded. And so he actually hired me to help him launch one of his products. And we made $1,800,000 in only 7 days. Okay. And that campaign ended up making a $2.8 million in the following 8 weeks. And so I was blown away that I was able to help Mike accomplish that type of result. Okay. And so with that, I wrote a #1 best-selling book titled How to Create Lifetime Customers to teach people how to sell their products and services online. And I've been blessed to speak around the world, teaching people how to sell really practically anything online and just leverage the marketing power of the internet and mobile technology. And I've also helped celebrities like Cynthia Bailey launch her products and services. And I've helped a lot of creators just like you make money. But even with this success, I still had dreams of being a full-time artist myself. And then I had an epiphany. I said, you know, artists that are on that income roller coaster where you make some money some months, some years, and less on other times, you know, that really only means that you don't have a consistent flow of collector leads and sales, right? And I was like, you know, what would happen if I applied those #1 best-selling internet marketing and sales principles to fine art? Like, what would happen? And so I had a crazy plan. I said, I'm going to host my very first art event, and I got a goal to sell out. We had a room full of beautiful collectors, the hors d'oeuvres, man. It was an incredible event. And this is how we actually sold the first piece of my very first event for $2,000. All right, type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first or next piece for $2,000 or more. Just type yes in the chat. I want to see. All right, I got my comments up right here on my left. Okay, and so this is my friend Melissa. Some of y'all might know Melissa, man. She is a dope artist, and she has a lot of powerful brand partnerships and relationships. She's done some incredible things. And so she was one of the artists at the event. She said, flash back to this dope art investors event by Sharess. All of these pieces sold and have already doubled in value. Now, while we were at this event, having a great time, we selling art, man, we enjoying the wine, I realized we had some very real problems. Man, first of all, doing it the old way, it cost me over $5,000 to launch that event. And I know a lot of artists don't just have $5K laying around to put on art shows, right? That was the first thing. But then secondly, we were selling art, but we were using tools like Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, taking actual cash. And while we want to get paid, that's cool. It really left all of our art sales disorganized because we were transacting on all of these different apps. And that made everything very difficult to track. But an even bigger problem was we couldn't easily follow up with the collectors that had just spent thousands of dollars with us. And man, that's an issue, right? If you get a new collector and they pay you with Cash App, man, you don't get their phone number, you don't get the email, you don't get their address, you don't get their credit card on file. And so when you follow up with them, man, you got to try to get that transaction again versus just being able to get them to put it on their credit card. And so I was like, man, this is a real issue. A lot of the artists weren't aware of that. But again, I got a marketing background. And so this is what inspired the affluent artist movement. Now, I couldn't find a solution, so I had to create a new way for you to have 100% unlimited access to your collector's information and a tool that makes everything easy to sell your art on and offline. And so as an affluent artist, you need one system that accepts payments up to $1 million. You should be able to easily sell your art anywhere, whether that's in person at a show or an event or online. Ideally, you can track your artwork, your sales, and all your collectors' information in one place. And we want collectors to buy our art with one click, right? Think like buying on Amazon and how easy that is. And it'll be really dope if collectors could track their net worth in your art so they can see when you're increasing your value as an artist, okay? And then me, listen, I love automation and AI, so I want to bring interested collectors to you. I want them to come to me instead of me having to chase them all the time. Now, this was very hard and expensive to create, though. So I ended up investing my own money, and I wasted over $30,000 in over a year hiring 2 dev teams to create artwork, right? I invested every penny to my name, and I really thought about giving up, man, just because building software is hard. But I knew going back to the old way wouldn't work for me because I had just did that art event. So I found a 3rd dev team, and I was like, man, I'm going to give it one more go. And listen, y'all, the new artwork app and the automated collector system that I created, it started working so well that many artists were selling art within the first 7 days, all right? And so we used to have this really fun hashtag called Sold in 7. Kira, she was one of the early artists that joined. She sold in her first 19 hours right when she was out of high school, when she was 18 years old. And she had just graduated. She didn't know anything about selling. She was just really getting good at creating art. And she holds the fastest sale right now, okay? And then my guy Z, fluent artist Z Aponte, he said, I haven't had a chance to report on my record-breaking success this past week. And so he had got over $1,800 in deposits for selling 7 prints and 8 commissions in the first week, all right? And once he got the full payments, man, he made significantly more than that. And so that was a record-breaking success for him. And one of my favorite stories is Jennifer Turner. She was a single mom. She has 4 kids, and she sold a piece in a little over 24 hours after watching this masterclass that you're on right now. And then she also continued to work on her skill, her craft, and her sales. And she ended up going to Art Basel. All right, type yes in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to go to Art Basel. I put a 1 in the chat if you want to go to Art Basel. And so she ended up selling this piece for $5,840 to this incredible couple right here at Art Basel. And then, man, because her success just kept compounding, she actually got invited to Sotheby's to attend the Art Business Institute of Art. And so type yes in the chat if you would love to go to London to learn how to sell art from Sotheby's and Christie's. And she did that, all right? And she's a member of our community. And so, man, after creating artwork and helping all kind of artists transform into affluent artists, I realized we no longer had to wait for galleries to accept us, wait on word of mouth to sell our art, or already have a big following on social media. Literally, that old way of being a starving artist was dead. All right. I was so excited, man. I was really blown away. And so this is what I need from you, artists. It's really simple. Belief. I will give you the solutions to become a full-time affluent artist, but you have to believe that you can do it and put it into action. All right. Because nothing hurts me more than giving you the game, then seeing you weeks, months, or years later clinging to them same starving artist problems. All right. And so, man, type yes in the chat if you're ready to start to exceed your sales goals like Brisha Jones here. She said, for the first quarter of this year, I set a goal to make $12,000. As of today, I'm super happy to have hit 13K instead. All right, keep going. Motivation affluent artists. I see the yeses coming through. All right, H, the Queen, Nancy. All right. And so, man, because of our success helping so many artists sell art, I actually got invited to speak on investing in art at BlackRock. And so, if you don't know BlackRock, they're the world's largest asset manager with over $10 trillion in assets. Okay. And so that's me in the middle speaking on a panel, teaching them about investing in art. And also, man, some senators from the country of Barbados caught wind of how we were helping artists get collectors globally. And they actually flew me out to the country to teach the artists on the island of Barbados how to sell their art. And so after the pandemic, man, their art industry got decimated because people stopped traveling so much. And so because people stopped coming, the artists weren't able to sell art, and they really needed a way to get access to a global marketplace of collectors. Okay. And so they brought me out there to help those artists access collectors around the world so they wouldn't have to wait for people to come to the island. And so, artists, if you struggle, it's not your fault. Okay. Listen, I am a self-taught artist, but I also had the opportunity to go to art up in Chicago. And while I became a better artist for my teachers, they never taught us how to sell our art or market our work or really how to get collectors. Okay. And so if you struggle with this, listen, it is not your fault because they're not teaching us how to really do this. And so after over 20 years in business and helping artists sell art worldwide, type yes in the chat if it's your turn to get your own collectors, if you want to skip them high dealer fees and sell your art online all over the world. I type yes in the chat. All right, I see some yeses coming through. Just type yes in the chat if it's your turn to start to get your own collectors and sell your art for the price that you want, okay? Because once you discover these 3 secrets, you'll have the keys to get new collectors online so you can accomplish your dream vision for your art, okay? I see some yeses coming through. So let's go ahead and get into these 3 secrets, artists, man. I like to get into it quick. I'm excited to teach you all how to do this. Make sure you get a pen and pad, take notes, man, because this masterclass is going to transform the way you think about selling your art. So secret number 1, charging your worth, okay? How this one thing makes collectors excited to buy your art at luxury prices. And so, again, I talked to y'all about my friend Melissa, and she's an incredible artist. And one of the things I love most about her is her professionalism. And so you see her beautiful art behind her. She creates wearable art as well. That's her head wrap that she made right there. And I really discovered this secret at our very first live art event, okay? And this is how we were able to sell that first piece for $2,000 at my very first show. And so the collector who bought it, I was surprised because he didn't have a clue who she was. Like, he didn't follow her on social media. He had never heard of her before that day. And so I was like, man, what will make you invest $2,000 in an artist that you don't know anything about? And he said, Sharess, I think the artist, but it was the story, okay? It was the story. And so if you're posting like this with no sales, let me come back out. Excuse me 1 second. All right. A little Siri, little bubble popped up. So if you're posting like this with no sales, and you're posting the size, the price, what you created it in, and whether you getting crickets like this post, or if you are getting a lot of engagement, but you aren't making any sales, just add your story, okay? When you add your story, you can get like Jasmine. And so she actually sold a pre-ordered print before the piece was done. And so she said, I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night, and I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude. Art story and organic conversations, building relationships really works, okay? And so type yes in the chat if you're trying to sell your first piece for over $1,000, like Miss Raquel Miller here. Just type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first or next piece for over $1,000, all right? This is the power of the story, okay? And so Brisha Jones, she actually sold a piece for $6,209. And at the time, this was her highest selling piece. And so she said, I'm really still speechless, but this is significant for a lot of reasons, because this was the biggest piece that she had ever sold at the time, a 60 by 48. And we helped her sell for her highest price at the time. And so she sold this piece, Fearless Expanded, this beautiful abstract piece based on the power of leveraging her story, right? So let me show you what the collector said. She said, my husband and I had a hard week and an already pretty messed up year. I know we're not special in any regards. Everything seems hard right now for everyone. When my husband and I saw your painting, we first both said, wow, we love that. And then we talked about how it made us feel hope, moving out of our comfort zone, leaving a bad year and entering a new place, fearlessness. When we read your thoughts on it as well, it just seemed like we needed it in our home. Thank you for painting this beautiful piece. It will be the conversation piece of the many meals we share with friends as we embrace a new era in the world, one of expanding fearlessness. Okay. And so type a yes in the chat if you see the power the story had on the collector and how it touched their emotions and it made them want to buy this. And so Brescia was able to break her sales record. Just type a yes in the chat if you see the power that the story had on the collector and how it touched her and her husband, just where they were in their lives at the time. Okay. And so artists, listen, this is how you break your sales records. Okay. So hint, it's not about the time or the size. And so if you've been an artist for any amount of time, you know, the more time you spend creating, you actually get better, faster, and more efficient. And so you shouldn't really base your price on time because you would actually charge less if you do the work quicker. So that don't really make sense when you think about it. Same thing with size, right? We know some wall art, just like art that I have hanging around in my home right now, is worth more than murals on the side of walls, right? So it's not really about the size or the time. It's all about your art story, all right? And your art story has to touch your collector's emotions, okay? So get your pen and pad out. We're going to show you a simple framework that we use to create compelling stories with our art that make collectors want to buy your art at any price, all right? So the A equals the art star, all right? Who's the art star in your art story? And this works for abstract art as well, all right? Every story has to have a star. R, what is the art star's role in your art story? What do they want to do? What are they trying to accomplish? What problem are they trying to solve? Right? You want to think about that. What's their role? What's the star's role in your story? And then T equals twist. What's the emotional twist in your art story? All right. And so if you enjoy a good book like me, or if you watch television, or if you love movies, you know movies, they have twists that keep you on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Okay. And so you can do that with the stories that you tell with your art as well. All right. And another cool thing, man, you can use ChatGPT to help you create the story too. Okay. And so let me show you how this piece right here use the simple art story framework to sell for an astronomical price at auction. Okay. And so the art star is Dr. Gachet. All right. That's who this picture is of. That's Dr. Gachet right there. What's his role? His role is he's Van Gogh's doctor, right? It's simple enough. But then a fluent artist, what's the twist? The twist is the doctor may have killed Van Gogh, okay? And so y'all know how people get caught up in murder mysteries. They want to know what's going on, who did it, who done it, why did they do it? And people were talking about this story so much, they were really wondering, did Van Gogh paint his last portrait of his killer? That when this piece went to auction, it sold for a record-breaking $82.5 million at Christie's, artists. All right. Now, I want to have a little fun right now and draw a little fun line in the sand, because I know some artists are here. Maybe you haven't sold art before. Maybe you want to start selling art for a couple $100, couple $1,000. Maybe you want to sell art for $10,000 or more, $100,000 or more. But if you want to sell your arts for millions like me, put 82.5 M in the chat. You can put the money bag emoji. You can put the smiley emoji with the money tongue. Put that 82.5 million in the chat. Let me know that you want to sell your art for millions, all right? Because I want to sell my art for millions. And there's success leaves clues. There is always a blueprint. If other people can do it, we can do it too, all right? So put your 82.5 million in the chat. I want to see who want to make millions with their art, okay? And so artists, I've shown you how becoming an affluent artist and creating your art story allows your art to truly sell itself for higher prices, all right? I see the money bag flying through. So write down your new price and type it in the chat, all right? Write down your new price, type it in the chat, and let me know when you're going to create your first art story, all right? Let me know some new prices that you're going to use after you start to create stories for your pieces, okay? Use that simple art story framework, and it's going to let your art to start to really sell itself, connect with the collectors emotionally, and they're going to want to buy your art at any price because they got to have it, okay? I see the 82.5 M coming through. All right. And so, artists, this works for you if you paint, if you sculpt, if you do acrylic pours, if you create jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It literally works for all affluent artists at all prices, okay? And so that's secret number one, man. Type a one in the chat if you like secret number one. Put that one in the chat for me, all right? We're going to get into secret number two of the 3 secrets of selling art online. One-click collectors, all right? You got to get collectors and make it easy for them to buy. So we're going to show you how to get instant access to ready-to-buy collectors, all right? Now, I got to tell y'all a quick story because I couldn't believe this happened. And this piece right here really represents a transformation in my life as a collector and also how we got here today, okay? And so I ran into one of my old classmates from the College of Art and Design, and he asked me to come down to his art show. And so I'm an artist, but I'm also a collector. Like if you were to look around my house, I got so many different pieces from a lot of different artists. I love investing in the local artists and just really putting some of my cash into the economy, all right? But I also love to surround myself with beautiful art. And so this piece right here, man, I love the colors. I love the pastel. I like the hair, the earrings, the profile. The haircut is fly. Like all of it is really dope. And as one of my classmates did this, all right? Now, when I saw this piece, I stepped to my classmate and I'm literally trying to press my business credit card into his chest to buy this piece. And he was like, Sharess, I can't take your money because people usually cash at me. All right. And I was blown away by that because this man literally turned down my payment. Like he turned down money. Okay. Have you ever experienced this? Type me in the chat if you've ever had to turn down a payment because you couldn't process the order. Just type me in the chat. I want to see. I see you with that $2,500, Miss Nancy. All right. Type me in the chat if you've ever had to turn down somebody's money because you couldn't take the payment. All right. Now, if you've ever experienced this, listen, rule number one is get paid. All right. Rule number one is get paid. Y'all got to get paid. We got to get this money. Okay. And so everybody put get paid in the chat. You got to get paid. Everybody put get paid in the chat. Okay. We can't be turning down cash. And so if you can't take payments, man, we got to step your game up in 2026. All right. We got to make sure that we really get this money. Okay. Using tools like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, etc. Listen, you got to get paid. So I want you to get your money, however you get your money. But again, some collectors won't want to do business with you with these tools at certain price points. One big thing, they don't get a receipt, right? We don't get a receipt. You don't get any documentation. And if like you don't deliver the paint or ship it somehow, man, they won't have any way to get that cash back, okay? And so when you're taking small transactions, this is cool. But when you really want to start selling art for higher prices, like you got to present yourself with a level of professionalism, okay? And then social selling on social media. Put guilty in the chat if you've ever dropped a photo of your art and said email or DM me for price. Or you put a bunch of hashtags and you got crickets, all right? Just put guilty in the chat if you ever did. I see the get paid. Let's go, y'all, all right? But put guilty in the chat if you've ever dropped a photo of your art, said email or DM me for price, and you got crickets, all right? I know a lot of artists are guilty of that. I see it all the time. And then orders on paper. Listen, again, I ain't going to make you call yourself out on that. We family here, but you got to step your game up if you still taking orders on paper. And then I know some artists have websites, some artists don't. But if you're not getting any sales or your website sales are really low, listen, that's a problem that we got to solve, okay? And so I created artwork to help you solve all of these problems, man, so you can raise your status as an artist and your level of professionalism and make it easy for collectors to buy your art with one click. And so I was really excited, man. Tiara, she put this piece, Angels Among Strangers, on artwork, and she actually sold a piece within a couple of days, man. She said, I'm still in shock a bit at how quick the sale happened, but great way to end the night. Seriously, thank you, Sharess, for perfecting the app. It definitely is a game changer for us as artists, okay? And so I'm going to show you a quick demo of how artwork works. This is our demo account. We didn't want to have any sensitive collector information in here. But you're going to see how easy it is to track all of your sales, all of your art as an artist, and how easy collectors can buy your art with the click of a button.
Hey, my name is Sharess May, and I want to give you a quick demo of the Artwork app. So the Artwork app does two very simple things. All right. If you are an artist, it allows you to sell your art, get collectors all over the world, and manage all of the most important key metrics in your business. And if you are a collector, it makes it simple for you to buy art with the click of a button and track the value of your art collection. All right. And so I'm going to show you the artist side of the dashboard first, then I'll pause and take you to the collector side. So when you're logged in as an artist and you're on your sales dashboard, you'll see your gross revenue, how many pieces you sold, what's the average price. All right. And this sales graph will show you your sales over any amount of time. Right here, you can set a sales goal. If you set it for $100,000, if you made some sales today, that number will be in blue at the top. And this dial will show you how much you've made. We haven't made any sales today. This is our test account. And if you hover over it, you can see how many sales you made today. And it's really simple to add a new goal as well. As you start making sales, you'll see your top sellers right here. So you see it by name, how many pieces you sold in case you have prints or multiples, and you'll see how much revenue you made from each piece. Right here under your new orders tab, you'll see your latest orders. And so you stay on top of what needs to be shipped out. Down here at the bottom, you'll see your top collectors. So you'll see them by name, how many pieces they own in their collection, and how much money they've invested with you in your art business. All right. And then once you go to your artwork tab, this is where you'll see all of the art that you have listed on the site, ready for sale, and also in the marketplace for collectors to buy with one click. So let's say you want to add art. It's very simple. You click add artwork. You just have to fill out these fields right here. And once you click save, it'll save it. I'm just going to close that. If you want to email it to a collector, you can click share offer, enter your collector's email, send the offer. Email is already pre-written. They can click directly to the link and buy your art. If you like to copy a link, you can copy it as normal and send it via text message or share it on social media. And also, if you want to delete your product, it's very simple and easy to delete. As collectors begin buying art from you, you'll see collectors in your dashboard. So you see all of the information right here. So you can contact with them and follow up with them and make future sales. If you click on their dashboard, you'll see a list of all of the art they purchased from you here. As your orders start coming through, you'll see your order and payment history right here. So you see if they were successful or failed transactions, all right, who bought it, the artwork, the purchase amount, and the date. And then as your money is being in transit to your bank account and deposited, you will also see your payouts here, all right? And so when you want to begin buying as a collector, all you have to do is click switch to collector, and it'll take you to the collection side of the marketplace, all right? And again, this is our test marketplace right here, but I'm going to pause for a moment to show you how simple it is to buy as a collector. So now I'm logged into the app as our test collector. And so you see when art is sold out, it'll be sold out in the marketplace, all right? And you can just scroll through the marketplace to check out all of the art that's available on the dashboard, all right? And so let's say if you want to buy something, it's very simple. You can click buy now. And if we have your card on file, you can choose which card you want to use. If you need to add a new one, you can do that. But let's say we want to select this card. We click confirm order. And it's that simple, all right? It's purchased. And so now if you want to go check your collection, you can click collection. And it'll take you to your collection. You see we just purchased this one right here, all right? So you can see all of your active collection. And as you are buying from artists, you can also see the artists that you're purchasing artwork from, all right? So I'm going to go back to the marketplace real quick. And let's say if you want to add it to your cart, you can add it to your cart. So you want to get a couple in there. And you can easily check your shopping cart to go to the checkout page and buy all of the pieces at the same time. So it's a very simple tool for artists to sell their art and also for collectors to buy and track the value of their collection as well. All right. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Talk to you soon.
All right, show me some love in the chat if you like how simple and easy it is to use artwork. All right, show me some love in the chat. Let me know. And so while you're doing that, I want to answer a few FAQs. So first, artists, you can set your own price. All right, value your art at whatever you think is worth. Okay, we like to write out art stories and put that in the description. Again, if you need help with your stories, you can use ChatGPT and leverage AI to do that. But we love to have that story right there in the description so the collector can read it and just hit them right there in their emotions and in the feels. Okay. And the collectors can buy multiple pieces of your art, just add into their shopping cart. We like to add the shipping fee to the art price as well, so we don't have to follow up and get that, right? So for example, if you're selling a piece for $10,000 and the piece is it costs $100 to ship, we will set it for $10,100 inside of artwork. Artists, you would ship the art directly to the collector if it's a physical piece. If it's a digital piece or if it's AI art, you can email it directly to them so they can download it. You get paid quickly too. So sales deposit in your account within 24 to 48 hours, and artwork gets a small 10% commission. Okay. And so here are a few sales, man. I'm gonna go through a few quickly. Artists are selling art on artwork right now. So here's Purpose by Jen, Bright Future by Tierra, and Veil of Night. I love that sky by Christina right here. Here's Miss Magda. She said, I'm very happy I sold my first piece in artwork. Many thanks to my new collector. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first and next piece on artwork. She sold Natural for $1,850. All right. And so artists, I've shown you how artwork saves you time, money, and makes it easy for collectors to buy your art with one click, like we're ordering on Amazon. All right. Type yes in the chat if you're excited to use artwork to get collectors. Just type yes in the chat if you're excited to use artwork to get access to collectors that have their credit cards on file and they are excited to invest into your art and buy it with the click of a button. Okay. Want to see them yeses flying through? All right, artists, let's rock and roll, man. We are going through the 3 secrets to selling your art online. Man, we're about to get into secret number 3, high income collectors. Now, listen, if you haven't taken a note yet, you absolutely want to take notes here because, man, I'm about to show you how to leverage AI for exposure to collectors that spend millions of dollars worth of art. All right, they spend millions on art. All right, man, one of the things artists really need is exposure to collectors that have money. And we're about to break that down for you step by step how to do that. Okay. And so Christy, man, she was brand new to selling her art online. She had been struggling to sell her art. And she said, after she started doing it, she said, okay, I'm about to cry right now. On my own way of selling, I would have gotten $200 for this piece. It would have taken me a while to even get that. So I followed the steps of this course. I made an ad. I spent only $7 and sold my piece for $700. And it took me a few hours to sell. Now, I want you to think about your art, your price point. But Christy, she spent $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 and sold a piece for $700. And she ended up making over $2,300 in her first 3 weeks. All right. She was brand new to this. She was selling for $200 and going from 2 to 7 for her. That's a big jump. All right. And so type cents in the chat, CENTS, like dollars and cents. If it makes sense for you to spend a few bucks on ads online to sell your art for hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. I type cents in the chat if that makes sense to you, because that makes sense to me. Okay. Now, artists, I love friends and family sales. I absolutely love friends and family sales. Tierra, she sold his galactic jellies for $2,000 to a friend and family. Mr. Emmanuel, he sold this piece for $500 to a sister at his church. It's a portrait of her and her children. And so I love friends and family sales because they add up. But sometimes we want to go global, right? We want to get global exposure, all right? If you want to sell your art to collectors around the country or around the world, put global in the chat for me, all right? Put global in the chat for me, all right? Sometimes we want to go global. We want to get out of our neighborhood. We want to expand beyond local shows. And we really want to access a global marketplace, just like those artists in Barbados, okay? And so after our first wave of affluent artist success, I knew I wanted to help more artists get high-income collectors online by leveraging the power of AI and online ads. I see the global coming through. Now, because of my experience buying ads on social media, I knew there was only one place I needed to go to get ready to buy collectors, and that was Instagram. Okay. And so, artists, always remember, success leaves clues. All right. Success leaves clues. If someone else is doing something successfully, we can as well. And so, Forbes, they said Sotheby's had a $363.2 million sale. And so the art market passed the first major test of the pandemic. All right. So people were really wondering, could they still sell art online after the pandemic? And then Business Insider, it said for now, the art world has gone digital. And for some, that's for us, the affluent artists, that's a good thing. It said Artsy, which is an online art marketplace, said they saw a 92% increase in e-commerce sales. All right. And interest from galleries increased by 60%. Okay. And so when you log into Facebook, you can log into Facebook to run ads on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. That's how you all are here, because we run ads on Facebook and Instagram. And so in the top left corner, the location is the United States. All right. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Whatever city, state, or country that you're in, and start advertising in your local country. Okay. In the bottom left corner, you see it says Sotheby's. So we saw that Sotheby's had that $363.2 million sale. Okay. If that makes sense for you to advertise to those collectors that's spending millions of dollars on Sotheby's, put me in the chat if that makes sense to you. All right. Put me in the chat if that makes sense to you, because that makes sense to me. Right. And so once we choose Sotheby's as a brand that we want to target, because we know collectors are spending millions there, we can go to this section called detailed targeting. All right. Everybody type the word financial in the chat. All right. Type financial in the chat, because when we use this word financial, we can target the collectors that make the most household income that are buying art from Sotheby's. Okay. And so you see that financial layer, it says household income top 5%, household income top 10%, and the household income the top 10 to 50%. All right. Type financial in the chat. Okay. Because this is how we target collectors that are spending millions of dollars worth of art. All right. Now, if this is blowing your mind right now, if you didn't know that you could target collectors that are spending millions online on art, man, put the mind blown emoji for me in the chat. You can put wow in the chat. Just let me know how you feeling in the chat right now, because this is how you get your art in front of collectors that have money to spend and they love buying art. Okay. Let me show you a couple of more examples, okay, to just really bring it home of the power of what we can do to leverage AI and advertising online. So here's another one, Art Basel. So we know Art Basel is one of the biggest art fairs in the world, and they just recently had Art Basel Miami back in December, right? Just a couple of months ago. And so, you know, people going to Art Basel, man, they spending money on flights, hotels, food, the actual Art Basel ticket to go to the convention center. I've been to Art Basel. Man, as you going around Miami, there's a lot of different pop-ups and different people out there selling art, man, all over the place. And so it makes sense to me to put my art in front of people that like Art Basel. And so if we use that financial layer, we type financial, it's going to show us how we can target the collectors that make the most money that's spending art at Art Basel. Right? So you see top 5% of household income, top 10% of household income, and the top 10 to 50% of household income. Okay. I'm going to give you one more example to just really drive this home, the power that we have when we really start to advertise online and target these collectors that are already spending millions on these brands. So we saw the Business Insider article that said Artsy had a 92% increase in e-commerce sales. Okay. And so again, that makes sense for you like it makes sense for me. We should be targeting those collectors that's going online and buying more art, right? And so when we put that financial layer on it, you see it says top 5% of the U.S. zip codes that make the top 5% of household income, the top 10% of household income in the U.S., and then the top 10 to 50% of the household income earners in the U.S., okay? And so these are collectors that like Artsy. So artists, when we do this, now we have what I call the keys to success, okay? Because if you want to sell art, you need two very important things. The first thing is you need to target collectors that have what I call the willingness to buy art. All right. And the willingness to buy art simply means you like art. And so I know if you like Artsy, if you like Art Basel, if you're buying, you spending millions of dollars worth of art at Sotheby's, I know you have the willingness to buy art, right? Simple. The second thing that's as equally as important is you got to have the ability to buy art. We know we need to target collectors that have money that want to spend their money on art. And this gives us the ability to do that, leveraging the AI and advertising on Facebook and Instagram. And so this type of access changes everything because you can do this anywhere in the world from your computer, from your mobile phone, and begin to advertise online. And so affluent artists are using this to sell art worldwide. And so here's Nisha Kapoor. She says, Sherez, your system rocks. I got another celeb lead as a result of my ads, and we spoke on the phone and the person is willing to buy. And so, you know, everybody's on social media, man. Everybody definitely on Instagram. And so when you begin advertising your art online, anybody can see it, okay? And so Nisha sold these pieces in Indian rupees, man. So it's working for all artists all over the world, all right? Miss Valerie, she's a senior. So even if you think you're older, man, you are in the right place. She sold over $3,250 from her ads advertising online, okay? And then here's another one from Christy. She spent $45 and made over $1,400 in a day and a half, okay? Type yes in the chat if you like to get over 800 likes, 200 comments, over 100 shares, and 300 messages. She said, I got 14 sales and about 10 possibles. Man, the only thing I didn't like about this was she turned the ad off too soon. You got to keep it going. When you get a money-making ad like this that just printing cash for you and selling art on repeat, you got to keep that going because that's like having your own ATM machine right there, okay? And then, man, one of my favorite things that happened, my man Joe, he said, and this happened last night, sold. All right, put sleep money in the chat if you want to get like Joe and wake up to selling art from your sleep because your ads were going 24/7. So Joe sold a $2,000 piece from his ads while he was asleep. Put sleep money in the chat for me if you want to wake up to sales because you got ads going on Facebook and Instagram around the clock. All right, collectors are seeing it. They're coming, they're interested, and they're buying around the clock because they see your ads, okay? These ads, they work whatever you are doing, whatever it is that you want to do. Sleeping, traveling, hanging out with your friends or your family, your ad is continuously selling your art for you. And so artists, I've shown you how you can use Instagram ads and AI to target the same high-income collectors the biggest art brands in the world use to sell art, all right? Type yes in the chat if you're ready to get exposure to high-income collectors online. I type yes in the chat if you're ready to get access and expose your art to people that we know are spending money, millions of dollars on art and targeting these big art brands. I type yes in the chat. I want to see some yeses coming through. And so artists, so far you discovered how to create your art story to raise your prices, how to track your art sales and artwork, how you can easily share your art via text, email, or social media, how to access a worldwide collector marketplace, how to get collectors to buy your art with the click of a button like Amazon. You discover how collectors can track what they own from your collection inside of artwork. You discover how you can use Instagram to target collectors worldwide. And man, one of my favorite things is using that financial layering to make sure that we're targeting high-income collectors that are spending millions of dollars on art, okay? And so I want you to imagine your future best self using this system and using this process, okay? Imagine that you're selling art to collectors worldwide. You don't even have to start worldwide. You can just start in the US or whatever country that you're in. If your country has Facebook and Instagram, if you're listening to me right now, then you definitely have access to that, all right? So just imagine yourself selling art to collectors beyond like your current sphere of influence, okay? Imagine that you're charging what you're worth and you're getting paid exactly what you want for your art, all right? And imagine that you're living your dream life as a full-time affluent artist, okay? Just put yourself in that future state, all right? Just sit with that for a minute. Just think about how your life will be transformed. Like, what are you doing with all that extra time and free money? Excuse me, extra money and free time, okay? What are you doing with all of that? Let me know in the chat, all right? Now, because knowing what you know now, just do you feel more confident pricing your art? Type yes in the chat if you feel more confident pricing your art. I see the hearts coming through. Type yes in the chat if you feel more confident pricing your art. Are you happy you attended this class today? Man, we doing this live. I love doing this live and helping artists sell their art. Okay, let me know if you're happy that you attended. Do you realize the advantage you have as an artist using these techniques? Okay, because some artists are still stuck doing things the old way and trying to make that work. But man, we have a new opportunity and a completely new reality when you start to leverage this system. Okay, and can you see yourself using this to sell more art? Let me see if you can see yourself using this to sell more art. Type yes in the chat. All right. And can you see yourself using this to get new collectors that you don't have access to right now? You should, because it's really simple and easy once you have everything set up. All right. And so, artists, now you got two choices. Choice number one is you can do what you've always done. Now, the risk that you run is if you do this, you'll continue to get the same results. Okay. Same inputs, same outputs. But choice number two, you can sell your art with handheld mentorship and sell $10,000 a month worth of art. All right. That's our goal, to help you get to 10K a month with selling your art. All right. And so just type yes in the chat. Let me know if it's okay if I spend a few minutes going over a very special offer to help you accomplish your dreams. All right. Just let me know. Just put yes in the chat if it's okay if I spend a few minutes doing that. Okay. Because I want to introduce you to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. And so this is a fun and easy 5-step system for visual artists to raise your prices, get new collectors, and sell 10K or more per month worth of art online. All right. And we showed you how Jasmine sold over $15,800 in 20 days using this system. Okay. And so part number one is the Affluent Artist Masterclass. Step number one is mindset. So that's what we covered, a millionaire mindset. So you can just renew your mind and start to think like a successful artist. Step number two is price. This is where we show you how to raise your prices and charge your worth so you can be excited when you sell your art, okay? Step number three is sold. This is where we show you what we call that cash collector system, where you can start to quickly and easily sell your art, whether you're online or offline at a show or at an event, all right? And then step number four is collectors. This is where we show you how to build a collector community so you can build lifelong relationships with collectors so they continue to come back and buy again and again. All right. And then step number five is marketing. This is what we show you how to use Instagram ads and AI and leverage that financial layering so you can start to market your art to collectors in your neighborhood, in your city or state, across the US or around the globe. All right. And so I want to introduce y'all to my guy, Christian Lamar. He's an affluent artist, and he's just going to share his testimony about what happened after he became a member and just how his life and his art career was transformed.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's Christian Lamar here, and I'm a portrait artist from VA. Now I just want to tell y'all why I joined the Affluent Artist Masterclass. I went to a great art school and learned from some phenomenal artists, but they never taught me how to sell my work. So after I graduated, I struggled, like, to the point of almost wanting to give up on my dream of being a professional artist. Well, this course changed all of that. It showed me how to turn my art into a business, and most importantly, how to sell online. So now I can sell to anyone, anywhere. And the results are super quick. I made my first sale within 30 hours of starting the program and made just under $1,500 within the first 5 days. And now that I'm in week 4, I've made just over $4,000. And it's super easy to follow. Like, if you're like me and you're ready to fulfill your dreams of being a professional artist, give the program a shot. And you also get to join a community of artists that share their experiences every day of what works. So join me and the family and become an affluent artist today. All right. Peace.
Shout out to my man Christian right there, man. So artists, again, this works for you if you are a painter, a sculptor, if you do acrylic pours, if you do jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It works for all affluent artists at all price points. All right, no matter what price points you're selling at, it absolutely works for you. And so this is Miss Joy. She used this system. She got this $4,000 sale in Canada. And so I love if artist does sell with cash, we always show proof of the sale. All right, we always tell the truth about making sales. And so I love when they put that cash on the table and take that picture. So she sold this beautiful mural, Happy Trails, right here for $4,000. Jasmine, man, this works even if your art isn't ready. One of the things artists tell me is they think they need a big body of work before they get started. And so again, she actually posted the piece that she was still working on, and she sold a pre-ordered print before the piece was done. Okay, so this process and this system works even if your art isn't ready. So when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, and that's a $5,000 value. All right. And then part number 2 is your artwork gold account. All right. So I want you to imagine collectors buying from anywhere around the world. Honestly, we got collectors in different parts of the globe. Okay. And so Jen said she was so happy and grateful to have sold this piece. She said, I'm going to supersize my fries tonight. Type yes if you want to sell your art on artwork for $2,700 or more, like Jen, selling Emergence and Power. Okay. And just imagine your new life selling art anywhere. One of the coolest things about this is collectors get introduced their kids to collecting art, man. So this young collector, his mother got him this Spidey Senses piece by Miss Yvonne right here. And the piece kind of looked like him, man. So it's actually really, really cool. And so artists, when you get your artwork account, you'll be able to accept payments up to $1 million. You can easily sell your art anywhere, whether that's in person at a show or an event or online. You'll be able to track your art, your sales, and your collector's information all in one place. Collectors can buy your art with the click of a button like they buy on Amazon, and collectors can track their net worth in your art so they can see when your value increases as an artist, okay? And you also be able to save money. So if you have a website that's not making money and you're paying for it, you can get rid of it. If you want to keep it, you can do that as well, but we got you covered there, okay? Also, if you're paying marketplace fees like for Etsy or any other marketplace and you're not really making any money, you can get rid of that and save that money. Some artists don't want to do fairs and shows because of the labor and the cost, right? And so you don't have to do that. If you want to, you can absolutely continue doing that. But man, it can get costly, renting vans and trucks and loading up your car and going to these shows, spending your money, and then having to take everything back home because you didn't make any money, right? I get it. I understand. But you can get rid of that as well if you want to. And then like email marketing and CRM software, we have all of that stuff covered. So you can stop paying for that. And then also just the lost time figuring all this stuff out on your own, which is the biggest investment that you'll save, which is your time, okay? Because we give you a simple step-by-step process. And so when I first started, right, I'm an artist as well. Like I didn't know how to manage my art sales in one place, nor did I know how to track how much my collectors spent with my art. So I also didn't have a global marketplace where collectors could buy my art with one click. So I had to create artwork for myself, okay? And so this is going to save you time and money because I already kind of took the arrows in my back by spending this 6 years. I had to spend over $60K and 3 years to figure out how to create an app to solve this problem. And so I don't want you recreating the wheel. So I'm going to give you an artwork account with this package so you can skip the cost, the trial, and the error. All right, cool. Let me know if that's cool in the chat. All right. And so again, artists are using this to sell art quickly. Tierra loaded a piece, and within a couple of days, she got a sale. And so she was in shock at how quick the sale happened, but she was saying it's a great way to end the night. All right. And so artists, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass and that Artwork Gold account. That's a $6,200 value. All right. And then part number 3, you're going to become an Affluent Artist member and join the Affluent Artist community. All right. This is one of my favorite parts of everything that we're doing. Just the global community of artists that we have supporting one another and helping each other sell their art. And so we got a global network of artists and collectors that love serving and that want to see you succeed. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to our private Affluent Artist School community. And so this is going to give you the knowledge, the community, and the encouragement and the motivation you need to succeed in your art career. And so you can access the program and the community anytime from anywhere in the world. You're also going to have unlimited support. You get 24/7 access to the school group, plus live weekly sales sessions to make sure you get all of your questions answered, okay? And so Sanyu, man, she started when she was only 9 years old. So you're not too young to get started. And I know some people, they register and watch this because they're doing this for one of their children, right? Or a cousin or a family member. And so Miss Jovan, who's Sanyu's mom, she signed Sanyu up for this. So we got young people, young artists in the program. And we also have seniors like Miss Phyllis. She was 73 and she made a sale in her first week. when she joined. All right. So no matter how young you think you are, no matter how old you think you are, man, this is a vibrant community of all type of artists, man, that are absolutely excited and ready to help you sell some art. Okay. And so I just want you to imagine just being a part of a community of artists that want to help you 24/7. And so here's my guy, Sean. He's a photographer. He said, lesson learned, follow up every time. You never know why somebody ghosts you. And I know a lot of artists get ghosts when you tell collectors the price. And so he said, I thought maybe my price was too high for her and she was gone for good. Don't make up your own stories as to why they didn't call back. Just follow up and be polite. All right. And so just even getting encouragement like that, man, can keep you going. You see all those comments and the reactions. And so artists, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account, and you'll become a valuable member of the Affluent Artist community. And that's a $7,400 value. All right. And then we also got some fast action bonuses for artists that join today. So bonus number one, we're going to give you that luxury pricing method to show you how to raise your price and charge your worth with your art. Okay. And so listen, if you're like me, if you're tired of putting time and skill into your art, only for buyers to continue to lowball you or try to negotiate, or they just don't really respect the true value of your art. Listen, this luxury pricing method is going to transform how you price. And so Christy, she was a single mom. She watched this class that you're on right now, and she made $1,350 in the first 5 days after watching this class that you're on right now. Okay. And she said, holy smokes, I reached out to an old friend and supporter of my art and landed a $1,000 mural job. The system works. I was thinking of asking $800, was hoping for $600, but I boldly asked $1,000 and she didn't hesitate. All right. So she raised her price and charged what she really was worth. And she was afraid to do it, but it just absolutely works. Here's Jen. Man, see, she just put the crying tear emoji right here when she sold Breakthrough 2 for $5,840 using that luxury pricing method. And then Brisha Jones, I showed you one piece of the luxury pricing method, which is the art story, but this is the full scope of what allowed her to set her sales record by selling Fearless Expanded for $6,209. All right. So she was speechless because of how powerful this was. All right. And so imagine your confidence skyrocketing because your art story has collectors emotionally invested in buying your art at any price. And so this becomes your new reality when you become an affluent artist. All right. And so artists, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, the Artwork Gold account, the Affluent Artist community, and that powerful bonus luxury pricing method. All right. And that's an $8,400 value. And then bonus number two, we're going to give you our automated collector system. All right. And so we use a tool called High Level, and it's really like a big part of the 3-step process that we use to get collectors from Instagram and Facebook. And so step number one is creating those AI Instagram and Facebook ads. Step number two is getting 24/7 leads around the clock, getting collectors to join your email list, ready and interested to buy your art. And then step number three is getting them to buy. All right. So it's a really simple 3-step process that we use to automate all of our business online. Okay. And so many artists suffer from that feast of famine income where you sell art some months and some months you don't sell at all. And so I spent years investing time and money testing which art ads and sales pages work best to turn clicks to collectors so you can have collectors coming to you 24/7. And so when we get an endless flow of new interested collector leads joining your email list and buying your art 24/7, this gives you predictable cash to grow your art brand and collector community while sales come in at the same time. And so if you already have a website that's not selling how you like, you can keep it or you can get rid of it. Okay. Either way is good with us. All right. But you can also use ours to get new collectors coming to buy your art every day like clockwork. And so this is the system that Christy used. Man, she has spent $45 on ads and she made over $1,400 in a little bit over a day. All right. So it absolutely works, and it works quickly when you follow it step by step. And so artists, when you join today, you're going to get access to that Affluent Artist Masterclass, the Artwork Gold account. You'll become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get these two powerful bonuses, that luxury pricing method and that automated collector system. Okay. And then bonus number three, I know everybody wants to get exposure to them high income collectors. All right. And so this is a pay in full bonus. When you pay in full today, man, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to set up your Instagram ads and how to get those high income collectors so you can get access to collectors that are spending millions of dollars on art. All right. And so many artists struggle to get exposure to collectors that can afford their art at the price you think it's worth. And so I've spent over $250,000 of my own money on Instagram ads, figuring out the best way to target buyers with money. And so you get instant access to what's working now with Instagram ads and AI. And so again, this is how you use that financial layering to make sure that you're targeting collectors that have the resources to buy your art at the prices that you want to sell it, right? Put that financial layering on that Sotheby's brand. We know we're putting our art in front of collectors that are already spending millions of dollars worth of art, okay? And so you're going to get exposure to collectors that have disposable cash. You'll be able to leverage AI to target the best collectors for your style. And you're going to be able to predictably get new collectors 24/7 around the clock with your Instagram ads, okay? And so Jen, she said she got another deposit for a commission. It's a $4,369 commission. She said, I just threw out a random number and they said, can they pay it in 3? All right. And so this is what starts to happen, man. You really get to test prices because you're talking to people that got money and you know that they'll be willing to buy at higher prices because they have the resources. Okay. Jasmine, man, she actually set a goal to make $5,000 for the month. All right, that was her first goal. And man, she blew through that goal in the first week. She ended up making $5,527 in the very first week. Okay. And so I told her she had made over $15,800 in 20 days. And she continues to grow her sales. And she's actually going to the Harlem Fine Art Show this weekend, man. I'm super excited and proud of Jasmine and everything she's been able to accomplish. Okay. And then Isha, she sold this 5-panel commission for over $10,000. Okay. And so this is what happens when you start to target collectors that got money. You can really raise your price and charge what you're worth. All right. And so type yes in the chat if you want to sell your next piece for $10,000 or more like Isha. All right. Type yes in the chat because this is what's possible when you start targeting high income collectors. All right. And so artists, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the valuable Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method, the automated collector system. And for artists that pay in full, we're going to personally walk you through how to get access to them high income collectors and get exposed to them. Okay. And so that's a $10,600 value, artists. And so artists, if all this did was help you raise your prices so you could break your sales records, would that be worth $10,000? Type yes in the chat if you think that would be worth $10,000. I absolutely think so. If you're breaking sales records like Brescia Jones, if you start selling pieces for $10,000 or more like Isha, if you start selling over $15,800 in less than a month like Jasmine, it is absolutely worth it. All right. If all this did was help you manage your sales and access artworks, one-click collectors, would that be worth 10K? 100%. Okay. You can sell art up to $1 million on artwork. All right. And if all this did was help you target high income collectors so you sell more art, would that be worth over $10,000? All right. I absolutely think that would be worth over $10,000. And so I had two choices with putting this program together. Choice number one, I can let you do this on your own with the wisdom that you learned today. All right. And you can absolutely get results like that. I hope you've been taking notes and that you apply some of the wisdom that you learned today. All right. But then choice number two, I said, I can have our team dedicate more time, energy, and resources so we have a responsible and active role in your success. And so you got to ask yourself, artists, like, what are your dreams worth to you? All right. If you had an automated collector system bringing collectors to you, what would that be worth? All right. Let me know in the chat what that would be worth. Like, how much would you pay to have one successful system to sell your art over and over again 24/7? And so you can see why artists have paid over 10K for similar results from us, because when you do business with us, it's not a cost, it is an investment. All right. And so artists, when you go to affluentartist.com today, you can join. You won't have to invest anywhere near the $10,600 value. Also, normally the price to enroll in our program is $5,000. You won't have to invest anywhere near that today. When you go to affluentartist.com, we got a special 91% off discount where you can join for $9.99 today when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. And if you need help ordering, you can text JOIN to 470-777-7555. 7549. All right. Again, if you need help ordering, text join to 470-777-7549, and our team will call you after the masterclass and we'll help you get enrolled. Okay. And also, if you need an affordable payment plan, we do have a payment plan that's $200 a month for 6 months when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. And so, man, some of our artists like Jasmine and Demetria, they participated in our $1 Million Artist Mastermind. And so this is a $25,000 investment that we help artists get to $1 million. Okay. And so Jasmine, she said, I'm at a loss for words here. Artwork Mastermind was beyond anything I imagined. Demetria said, one word, it was epic. Okay. And so you won't have to invest anywhere near what it costs to get your hand held in person like this. When you go to affluentartist.com, you can join for a fraction of that today. All right. And also that automated collector system, man, that's over a $1,600 a month value because you can get rid of so many different tools. All right. Websites. If you are paying for surveys and forms, email marketing, if you're paying to do text message marketing, booking appointments, man, call tracking, we do all of this stuff inside of our automated collector system. You get access to this, okay, when you join now by going to affluentartist.com. All right. And so artists, you got two choices now. Again, you could do this on your own with the wisdom that you learned today, or you can keep doing what you've been doing before now. But if you do this, you will get the same results, okay? Same input, same output. But choice number two, you can get handheld mentorship so we can help you sell $10,000 or more per month when you become an affluent artist by going to affluentartist.com today, okay? And also artists, we are so confident in us helping you get results in selling your art. We have a 110% legendary money back guarantee, all right? And so artists, if you sign up now, if Affluent Artist does not help you sell more art and get more collectors, you'll have two options. Option number one, you'll follow the steps, decide it's not for you, and win 110% of your money back, all right? Option number two, you will grow in Affluent Artist, and we will personally help you achieve $10,000 or more per month, okay? That's our guarantee. We are so confident because we've helped so many artists do this that we absolutely know if you come in, take action, and do the work, you can get results when you become an affluent artist by going to affluentartist.com, okay? And so why do we do this? Well, we do it for a very selfish reason. That's because I know that it's a win-win. And so this makes it a no-brainer for you to join, and I know that we can help you succeed. And so when you sign up, I know for a fact one of these two things will happen. One, you will sell over 10K worth of art and get new collectors using Instagram, okay, and the artwork app. Or you will win $1,100 from us just for trying it out and giving it a shot, okay? If you take action, try it out. For any odd reason it doesn't work for you, we'll give you $1,100 just for trying it out, all right? And obviously, if you take the payment plan, we give you an extra 10% on the payment plan, okay? And so we do have a few qualifications for the 110% money back guarantee. So first, you have to earn 100% completion by watching the Affluent Artist Masterclass, okay? The second thing is you have to take action on the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You can't just watch the videos. You got to actually do it. And then we want you to attend the live sales sessions every week so we can answer your questions to make sure that you don't get stuck, all right? And then the most important thing is to sell your art. Use the information to sell your art and start to make money so you can live your dreams as a full-time artist, all right? And then we want you to share your results of becoming an affluent artist on social media, all right? And so your profit is guaranteed. So again, option number one, you follow the steps, you decide that it's not for you, you can win your money back, all right? Option number two, you say, hey, Sherez, I want to grow in my affluent artist journey, and we will continue helping you achieve $10,000 or more per month as long as it takes, all right? If you want to just really continue to lock in, use this system, be a part of this community, and continue selling your art, all right? And so you can get access to that when you go to affluentartist.com. And so artists, the real question you got to ask yourself, like, is this worth taking a few minutes to just check this out, all right? Because even if it does half of what I say today, it will pay for itself as soon as you sell one painting for $1,000 or more, all right? And so artists, you're just one collector away from really transforming your life when you go to affluentartist.com and start using this system today, okay? And so again, artists, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get your Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses. You'll get that luxury pricing method, the automated collector system, and for artists that pay in full, you're going to get access to those high income collectors. We're going to show you exactly how to do that step by step, man, so you can start to advertise as quickly as possible, okay? And so that's a total value of $10,600 when you join at affluentartist.com, all right? And we also have some fast action bonuses. We got that sold out art challenge, and that's $1,000 value. And so the sold out art challenge is the process that many artists use to sell art in their first 7 days, okay? And so we got live handheld coaching. We're going to show you how to get your dream 100 collectors and so much more, all right? And so this is only for the first 10 artists that join live today by going to affluentartist.com. Again, if you need help ordering over the phone, text JOIN to 470-777-7549, and our team will reach out to you to help you get enrolled over the phone, okay? And so artists, get started now. Go to affluentartist.com to sign up. If you got a question, type it in the chat. We would love to answer any question that you have. When you join today, again, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, the Artwork Gold Account, the Affluent Artist Community, that luxury pricing method, the automated collector system. When you pay in full, we're going to walk you through step by step how to get access to those high income collectors so you can get exposure to collectors that are spending millions of dollars worth of art, all right? And then for the first 10 artists that join, you're also going to get access to that sold out art challenge, and that's $11,600 value, all right? And so we got a special 91% off for $9.99 when you go to affluentartist.com. We also got a payment plan that's only $200 a month for 6 months, all right? If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549, all right? So now at this point, I see several artists have signed up. That makes me happy. I'm really excited, man, to see you on the inside of our community. Now, we still got a few artists that are here, and I can tell that you're getting ready to sign up, but you probably have a question that you need answered first before you make that decision, all right? So I want to address some questions in the time that we have left. If you got a question for me, please type it in the chat. This is your time. We are here to serve, all right? But I also want to go through a few frequently asked questions that we get about the community and the program, all right? So one of the questions that we get asked is, what if I already have a website? So listen, if you aren't making sales on your website, you can send all of your collectors to Artwork and use our automated collector system so you can eliminate hosting costs and those monthly fees, all right? When you go to affluentartist.com and sign up. Some artists ask, do collectors need an Artwork account? So listen, collectors can buy as a guest, but we encourage them to get an Artwork account so they can track their art collection. If you send it to a collector, they can buy as a guest, but getting an account is just a much more powerful experience because they can track all of your art, all of your sales. Same thing if you're doing a show, if you're using QR codes, they can scan it and buy it with the click of a button. It's really simple and easy. Some artists want to know, like, Sherez, how do I afford the investment? All right, so I understand some artists might be tight on cash. And one of the things that you can do is just like what Jasmine did. She actually started using the art story framework that I taught you all here, that 3-step framework, and she started pre-selling her art before it was done, all right? And so you literally can use the first secret that I taught you about the art story to start pre-selling your art. You can make that money, and then you can invest into yourself to enroll into the program, okay, and get access to this system. Some artists want to know, how do I make the time? Listen, I get it. We all busy. We got jobs. You got family. You got things to do. I get it. I get it. I get it. So Brisha Jones, she's a single mom, 2 kids, and she actually sold $2,572 worth of art. And so she found the time to get this commission out, okay? And so one of the things that we do to make the time is create what we call a success block. And so your success block is simply getting up earlier in the morning than you normally do and working on your dream and working on your art, right? And so even if you get up an hour earlier and you dedicate that first hour to working on your art business, man, this is going to transform your career, okay? Because if you wait until the end of the day, right, especially if you go to work, if you got a family and everybody's kind of pulling at you all day, and now you're giving like the most depleted version and most tired version of yourself to your career. And so you really want to focus on what's going to transform your life and help your dreams come true first. So that's one of the ways that we make the time to get this done, okay? Some artists want to know, can I do this anywhere in the world? Absolutely, you can do this anywhere in the world. So I'm in the United States. Miss Joy is in Canada. And so she sold this Happy Trails mural for over $4,000. You see that Canadian cash on the table right there. Man, it absolutely works, okay? Some artists want to know, what if I'm just getting started? Listen, I think that's a great question. And to share with you how easy it is to get started if you've never sold art, or even if you're a new artist. Tierra, she became an affluent artist and she started selling art quickly, okay? And she was selling so much art, man, that her children, so she had 3 kids at the time, they were 2, 5, and 7 years old. They were so inspired by her that they actually wanted to sell art. And so she started to take her kids through the Affluent Artist Program, and they actually set a goal to sell $250. But with the support of their family and friends, they made over $500 selling their art, okay? And so, again, you can be a child just getting started, and this will work for you, all right? If it's working for 2-year-olds, it will absolutely work for you when you become an affluent artist by going to affluentartist.com, okay? Some artists want to know, is the process too hard or technical? Listen, there is some technology, but Miss Valerie was 68 when she joined, and she sold over $10,000 in the first 4 months. All right. This is a grandmother. And so if she can, if the little kids can and the grandmothers can, you absolutely can as well. And she said, affluent artist, I had to share. I'm purposely taking my time to master each step, learning how to work these new to me apps, and building my team out of the blue. A collector called and bought 2 paintings, right? And she said, this was my week 2 goal. I am speechless. She said, I'm feeling blessed, everything and falling in place. The program works. All right. So you can get access to this when you go to affluentartist.com. And so, artists, if you're still here right now, I know that you're interested. You're probably on the fence. You want to join. You may be trying to figure out like what you got to do to get the resources to make the investment. And so you either got to get the resources or be resourceful. Even if you don't have the resources right now, your resourcefulness is your most valuable asset. And so Miss Stacy, before she joined, she was struggling a bit financially as well, but she hustled up the resources. She made the investment, and she said, yes, it works. She said, I made my call to a friend and said she wanted these paintings when they are done, and she bought all 3. Okay. So if Miss Stacy can figure out how to be resourceful, can get it, you can do it as well when you join now at affluentartist.com. Okay. Some artists want to know, is there too much competition? Listen, that is a scarcity mindset. And I need you to understand that there is more than enough abundance for all of us here in this world. And so if you all know any collectors, like I'm an artist and I'm a collector. And if you look around the home right now, I literally have art everywhere around here from all different type of artists. Okay. And so there's really no such thing as competition, because collectors just love buying what moves their spirit. All right. And so we show you how to get access to collectors that'll buy from you, Diana, and Tasha too. All right. When you go to affluentartist.com and enroll today. What is the artwork commission? Again, it's only 10%. And more important than that, you get to keep your collector data, right? We give you access to your collector's information. And I do this specifically because I know galleries and dealers, they usually want to take 30 to 60% of a cut of your art. And they don't give you your collector's data because they don't want you to go direct to the collector and build that relationship and cut them out of their fee. Okay. And so we got one of the lowest fees in the industry. And we also give you all of your collector's information because we want you to have a relationship with your collector and keep selling art to them for a lifetime, ideally. Okay. Some artists want to know, what budget do I need for ads? Listen, you can literally get started for as little as $5 a day. Okay. $5 a day. Now, when you want to start getting more collectors, all you got to do is start spending more collectors to expand your reach and to show your art to more people. But it's really inexpensive to get in the game when you become an affluent artist by going to affluentartist.com. All right. And so we know being a full-time artist beats working a 9 to 5. So like Mia here, man, she got this $2,000 commission right here for this 2-year-old bedroom. Man, I absolutely love these hearts, man. This was a beautiful, beautiful piece. And the story and the reason why the mom got it was just even more touching. Okay. And so when you become a full-time artist, man, you get to build just incredible relationships with collectors. You get to make easily more money than you will make on most jobs selling your art. And it's really easy to do, man. Just imagine getting, again, I don't know what your price point is, a $2,000 sale a week, man. That's $8K a month. That's more than most jobs that you might be working right now, man. So you can get access to this program and this system when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. And again, the community support is really what creates those success habits, man. There's some powerful things that happen when you are in an environment with other winners that are sharing what's working. You get inspired, you get encouraged, and also just like friendly competition happens. Because you see another artist like selling art, breaking their sales records, you naturally think if they can do it, I know I can do it as well. Okay. And so if you've been just kind of creating on your own at home in like a little silo, man, make sure you join our community by going to affluentartist.com and get access to a group of winners that are active and encouraged, and they just really want to help you succeed and win. Because we know when one of us win, all of us wins. All right. Now, if you're here right now, you know information alone is not enough. Maybe you've been reading books. Maybe you've been watching videos on YouTube. Maybe you've been following different brands and pages on Instagram. But you know, getting the information doesn't always give you the transformation, right? You need coaching. You need mentorship. You need guidance. You need community. You need tools. You need software. You need ways to target collectors that got money that's already spending on art, right? And so if you want to get booked and busy like Toya, join us at affluentartist.com right now, and we are excited to serve you, okay? And so artists, as we close out here, if you got a question, please type your questions in the chat, all right? One of the things you got to ask yourself is, do you want money or do you want more excuses? Because you cannot have both, all right? Either you're going to figure out how to get in the program and sell art so you can start to live your life as a full-time artist, or you're going to come up with more excuses and reasons why you can't, okay? You get to pick. All right? It's really on you. I want you all to make as much money as possible, man, because the investment to enroll into this program is a drop in the bucket when you see how easy and fast it is for you to start selling art when you become an affluent artist, okay? And so, man, the true cost of inaction is what all of us really need to start to calculate, all right? Because what if this helped you just start selling just one piece per week? Like, regardless of your price point, would that be worth it? All right, I think yes, man. Even if you just selling art for $100, right? To just start to make sales every week, that'll absolutely be worth it. But man, if you start selling art for $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, like Jasmine and Isha and Jen, man, it's absolutely worth it if you can just get a piece sold per week, right? And it's really just simple math, man. You start to get collectors coming in, and you start selling art, and it just really becomes a numbers game. But the biggest thing you got to ask yourself is, what's the lost opportunity cost of not doing this, right? It's February right now. Like, what happens if you don't do this month? You're going to miss out on sales for February. What happens if you don't start in March? You're going to miss out on potential sales in March, right? And if you keep going every month, literally every day that you aren't actively advertising your art to new collectors, you are losing money, okay? And so you got to ask yourself, man, are the future missed sales really worth continuing to struggle to sell your art? Because you're trying to figure this out on your own, right? And so again, if you follow just one of these steps that I shared on today's event, you can make a profit in the first week when you go to affluentartist.com and enroll today, okay? Another way that you can get the investment is by asking your family and your friends to become your investors, okay? Miss Valerie, she said, Affluent Artist family, I wanted to share. I finished this today. I posted it 3 hours ago, sold to a collector, all right? So again, she created some art. She sold it the same day. Same thing with Sheris. She sold a piece the first week in her program, all right? She said, thank you, Sheris, for all of your help. And so when you talk to your friends and family and you let them know that you got access to a system and a process that's going to give you a step-by-step blueprint to sell your art, people will be much more confident investing into you, okay? Also, many artists use PayPal credit as a way to get the investment as well. And so if you go to paypal.com/credit, you can open a new tab on your phone or your computer, pull that up. You can apply. You can get approved within seconds. I think it takes less than a minute. And so this is a powerful way to do it because you have no payments plus no interest if paid in full in 6 months on purchases of $99 or more. When you go to paypal.com/credit. All right, so you want to pay in full, you can use the PayPal credit option. That's a great way to get the investment that you need to join. All right. So artists, the time is now, man. I'm excited for the artists that enroll. We're about to close out here, man. If you want to, get some wisdom that you can implement and start to have collectors stop negotiating and not stop hesitating, just like Raquel West did here. She said, without negotiation or hesitation, this collector purchased this piece at my $1,200 asking price. I am beyond grateful for the knowledge and the quick turnaround. All right. So the time is now, man. If you're ready to actually make your dreams come true as an artist, start selling art for higher prices, go to affluentartist.com and join our community right now. All right. So let's accomplish your dreams together, artists. Man, I'm excited to serve you and see you on the inside because I know as a fellow artist, I know that struggle with selling art is real, right? But when it's gone from your life, like how will you feel? How much better will your life be? Like how much stress is working a job and never having enough money causing your mind and your body right now? Because after you join, it's gone. Just like think about that ease and let me know, can you feel the difference? Because you know that you got a system that's going to bring you collectors 24/7 and you can actually get your art sold for the prices that you want. All right. And so it starts by going to the link below and joining now at affluentartist.com. All right. And so I'm going to come out real quick and walk you through the checkout process to just show you how to do this. Okay. And so when you go to affluentartist.com, it's going to redirect you to our order form. So it says, yes, Sharess, I'm in. And you see you have a little bit over 72 hours to take advantage of this offer before it expires. Okay. And so we're going to recap the offer here. We also talk about the 110% money back guarantee. And so all you got to do is put your name, your email, your phone number, your address, and choose your payment option. All right. You can pay in full or you can choose the payment plan. And also, if you want a private VIP call with our team, you can get a one-on-one call right here. Just add that to your order and then come down here, enter your 16-digit card number, your expiration date, the 3-digit CVC, your zip code, and click join now. And your order, after your order process, man, check your receipt, check your email for your order receipt, and also check your text message and your email for the step-by-step process of how to get enrolled and get access to everything. Okay. Also, we'll send you over a one-page authorization form and make sure you sign that as well. All right. And so it's really easy to get started. I'm going to do one last recap. Congratulations to the artists that joined. So artists, again, get started now, man. Go to affluentartist.com to sign up today. And when you join, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to that Artwork Gold account. You're going to get access to the Affluent Artist community so you can become a member. And you're going to get some powerful bonuses, all right? You're going to get the luxury pricing method so you can raise your price and charge your worth. Bonus number 2, you're going to get that automated collector system so you can get collectors joining your email list that's interested in buying your art 24/7 on autopilot. And then when you pay in full, we're going to walk you through how to set up your Instagram ads, leveraging that AI and the Instagram platform so you can target those high-income collectors and get them get your art in front of collectors that are already spending millions on art. Okay. And for the first 10 artists that join today, when you join, you will see that sold out art challenge inside your account. And that's what many artists are using to sell their art in the first 7 days. All right. And so that's a total value of $11,600. But you don't have to invest anywhere near that today. We got a great discount for you for only $9.99 when you become a member at affluentartist.com. All right. We also got a payment plan of $200 a month times 6 months. And so if you need help ordering, you can text join to 470-777-7549. You can also sign up at affluentartist.com. All right. And so I don't see any questions. So we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. Peace and much love, everybody. When you watch this replay, make sure you check this out. Take notes and take action and get what you need so you can join and enroll into the program. All right. And so again, go to affluentartist.com, get started now, and we're excited to see you on the inside.